Hello, remember to thyself be true and to thy finances be true. So, in today's video, I'm going through all the books that I've read and the knowledge that I've gained from these books to help me with my personal finance journey from the time that I started working until the year 2024. The first ever book is this one, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I love the simplicity of it and straight to the point and the storytelling that goes into this book. This was my first personal finance book that I invested in, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And then I was into Robert Kiyosaki vibe. Then I got this one, Rich Dad's Guide to Investing by Robert Kiyosaki. I wanted to learn all about investing in more detail because in the first one, it's just a little that he goes through. Then I wanted to read more basically on the cash flow quadrant. So I got this one also by Robert Kiyosaki. Then I wanted to understand this phenomenon that he talks about in the other books on fake. So I got myself his book on fake money, fake teachers, fake assets that he talks about. It was still real Robert Kiyosaki. So I was into Robert so much in the beginning of my personal finance journey. Then I went on to Why the Rich Are Getting Richer by Robert Kiyosaki. This was actually my second book from Robert Kiyosaki that I read. And I love the fact that there's a South African content that he talks about in this specific book. So I loved reading this one. And then we come to this book, which I really love, The Richest Man in Babylon, George S. Clason. Very simple to read, very quick to read, not that big. I love reading this one, The Richest Man in Babylon, because it's quick, straight to the point, simple steps, simple things that they talk about in this book. Then I wanted to read something South African, and then I got myself this book, How to Get a SARS Refund by Daniel Baines. Quick read, not that thick. I also loved this one. Also, in a South African context, I read this one, Making Money Through Buy to Let in South Africa. Not that thick, also. Quite a read, very simple. I'd recommend this one for anyone to read it just before their property investing journey. I loved reading it also. Then my love for Robert did not stop because then I got this one, Unfair Advantage by Robert Kiyosaki, The Power of Financial Education. I went into it, delved deep. It's quite a lengthy book, but a good read. So I got myself this one, Unfair Advantage. And then because he mentions his wife Robert, I got myself It's Rising Time by Kim Kiyosaki. This is actually Kim's second book. I've been looking for the first book, but I can't find it in South Africa. But if I do get it somewhere in one bookstore or on Take a Lot, then I'm going to get myself Kim's book. Then our famous person in South Africa, Mapolo Maku, You Are Not Broke, You Are Pretty Rich. I read this one also. I think this was my first South African book that I bought. I read this one. Very simple, easy to read. Love the content, especially the one on kids investing for your children. I loved it. And also the one talking about funeral covers. That information for me was a game changer because to this day I don't even have a funeral plan from the knowledge that I gained here. And then one that I love and I wish I would have gotten a chance to help my aunts and uncles out in time is this one, From Debt to Riches by Phumelele Mdumo. It is a great read. I loved it. I even have like, I don't know if it's visible, but I do have like tabs where I've marked the chapters that I deemed important and I want to basically go back and read. It's not a thick book, very doable. So I loved Pumelela's information. Very relatable. Loved it. Then the famous one that everyone is reading, The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel. I bought it last year. I read it last year, 2024. Loved reading it also. I loved how simple he puts things. Love reading this one too. And then the one that I want to read and reread yearly is this one, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's mind blowing. I want to read it and read it every year, like once a year. I need to read this book because it's very mind blowing and it deals more with the mental state. So it's like a financial Bible for me. I would prefer to read it once a year. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. And then one of the books that I also read last year was this one, How to Start a Side Hustle by Nick Haralambuas. I loved the content that he talks about here. Simple, straight to the point. Just for me, this one just says get things done. You put your mind to it, try it, get it over and done with. And then our famous personal finance content creator, Nicolette Mashile, What's Your Move? I've read this and I loved. There's a lot of laughter that was going on in this book for me. I really loved the humor that she puts or that she put in this book. Loved reading this one. And then for my Christian girlies, our dad here, Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. This is the famous The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Straight to the point, 7 baby steps explained. Loved reading this. In the year 2025, I want to read his book together with his child, Rachel Cruz, the Smart Money, Smart Kids book. That's the book that's on my reading list or book list for 2025, especially now that I have a baby who's not yet even one. So I want to get prepared for that, especially with regards to allowances to kids and age appropriate tasks that are benefiting for those allowances. So I'm going to get that book. So Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover, famous 7 baby steps for all my Christian girlies and Christian guys out there. This one, you guys, I think now you know that I had a Robert Kiyosaki fever. I read this one, Before You Quit Your Job. Then our South African guy, Warren Ingram, How to Make Your First Million. Read this. Um, Basically, you just have to sell. That's what this book is saying. There's no way you can go about it. You have to sell something to start off. But what I know and what I believe from this book is it is doable. Another Warren Ingram's book, Become Your Own Financial Advisor. I read this one. I think I also need to reread it. I think when I read it, I was at a point in my life where I didn't have enough, but I was winging it. So I just need to reread this one. The Financial Advisor, Become Your Own Financial Advisor by Warren Ingram. And then lastly is this one here, Manage Your Money Like a F Grown Up, the best money advice you never got. by Sam. I read this book and I loved the nuggets in here. And basically, that is all that I read. If I were to give top three for a starter in this journey, I would say top three, number one would be this one, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Number two for me would be this one by Phumelelo Ndumo, From Dead to Riches. The last one that I would say a person should also go with is this one, The Richest Man in Babylon. I think for me here, this one is because of the storytelling, easy to read, get straight to the point, and you could see yourself in Robert and the friend's dad. And then this one is also my number two because it's short. And number three, from a South African context, I would say this one, Phumelelo Ndumo, From Debt to Riches. Until next time, remember, to thyself be true and to thy finances be true.